Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Winning Wednesday. On today, we bring you greetings from Birmingham Bible Church worldwide. Don't matter how you're watching us, whether it's through Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. We would like to welcome you here on today. And so on today, we are bringing you yet some more great information because that is what we're all about here at Birmingham Bible Church at 12 noon on Wednesday. And so we want to help you to create some great wins in your life. So we just ask that you share this information with someone that you know, that you would tell somebody, that you would text somebody, just kind of what this information is about on today. And so on today, we are talking to those specifically who want to start a business. I don't know if you've already started one, if you're thinking about starting one, if you want to perfect what you already have, if you want to do things the right way. And the key word is right, because we need to make sure that our affairs, that all of our things, everything that we're doing is set up the right way. So is there a right way or a wrong way to do it? Do I need a tax ID? I make a great pound cake. Somebody told you, you make a great pound cake and a great sweet potato pie. Can you just start cooking up something in the kitchen and just start selling it? Can you do that? Well, a lot of us think that just because we have a good product, we can just start doing things out of the kitchen, but it's just more than that. Of course, and we need to have a plan. We need to make sure things are set up legally. You need to make sure you're making the right financial decisions. And so our guest on today is no stranger to Birmingham Bible Church. He is a speaker. He's an author. He is someone who we consult with on a monthly basis. And he is our friend. He is a great guy. And what I like about Steve is that he is just in your face. He don't sugarcoat anything. And so we like to welcome you all on today to introduce to you Mr. Steve Thurston. Please make sure if you have any questions that you are putting them in the comment section, especially on our Facebook page, and then we can get them addressed. So hello, Steve. How are you?
Pam, how are you? Thank you again for the invite to share. Whenever you and Pastor Mason call, I'm here. I love you. I've loved y'all for a long time. And I love the work that you're doing to empower and change lives. It's more than scripture and reading the Bible and shouting and all of that. You all have a holistic ministry that speaks to every area, every facet of people's life, from health to business to the spiritual side, the psychological, mental health side. So thank you for doing what y'all do to challenge and to change people's lives.
Thank you so much. Pastor Mason always says, a lot of times pastors are guilty of getting people to heaven, but they don't teach them how to live here on earth. And so we really want to change that. And so thank you so much for that and for all that you do for us. So we thank you and so appreciative.
Sure thing. Sure thing.
So tell me how to get my pound cake business started. What I need to do.
I'm excited about this. I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 17. I first got into business. Well, that was the first legitimate business. I've been hustling ever since I could figure out what hustle was. And that happened because I didn't understand the concept of life insurance. My dad pastored, traveled around the world preaching. So I only saw my dad really on Sundays at church, and then maybe the next Saturday night or Sunday morning back at church. He was on the plane, he was gone. And I had the question to come up in my head, even like as a 5 or 6 year old, What happens if daddy's plane crashes? How are we going to continue to live like we're living? And so that was a question that was in my head. I never articulated it to my parents. So I just decided in my mind, I got to make money because I like what I have. I want more toys. I want more stuff. I like living the way I live. So it's on me to make sure that it happens for me. So I just started finding ways. I started by like with my grades. I would hustle the members at the church. I would get a group of people together and I'd be like, hey, for every A I get, can I get $20? For every B, $10? For every C, $5? What they didn't know was I was a straight A student. So I got like 20, 30 members that have agreed to this. You can do the math, you can add it up. Yeah. And so it started from there, and just whatever way I could find to make money, that opened up opportunity for me. And there was a deacon at the church who was in the men's clothing industry, been in it for years. He decided to branch out, open up his own store, and he brought me in as a partner. So I'm 16 years old, in high school, out in the suburbs of Chicago. I would leave school every day, Monday through Friday, come to the city, drive into the city 30 minutes, and run the store. He showed me soup to nuts, the whole thing, how to run, how to do inventory, how to purchase. Only because of the timing of school did I not get the opportunity to go out to Vegas to the trade shows during that time period. But that just opened it up for me. And from there, I've owned maybe 3 or 4 men's clothing stores. I had a women's shoe store. I've been investing in real estate. I started that when I was there in Atlanta at Morehouse. Started investing in real estate, had my first like 4 properties. I think by the time I was like 21 or so. Yeah, consulting company is what I have now. I was making some entree into the cannabis industry before COVID kind of hit. So I kind of been in everything. I've made a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money. So I want to share some insight and some tips for individuals who want to and are pursuing this path called entrepreneurship.
Amen. Wow. Was Steve? Of course, we knew. Well, I knew some of that, but of course, you are well able and well advanced to teach on this subject. Man, when you were talking, it reminded me of one of our children. She kind of did the same thing at Travelers Rest. She was about maybe 8. Was Mariah, and she went around telling people it was her birthday. And I looked in her room, and she had over $300. And I'm like, "What are you doing? It is not your birthday." But now that you tell that story, maybe she's got some entrepreneur in her.
Yes, yes. All right, so let's dive into this because I want, of course, make room for questions, and y'all can feel free to ask me anything. If I know, I'm gonna tell you. If I don't know, I'm gonna tell you I don't know, and we're gonna learn together. I want this to be a learning experience for everybody. Let me start by going down this path. Becoming an entrepreneur is one of the biggest decisions that anyone, I believe, could ever make in life. And you want to ensure that you have a solid understanding of what you're getting into. Building a successful business in theory is simple. However, there's this thing called execution that we sometimes forget about. And that's where reality sets in. The rubber hits the road. And it can often lead us to this place that I like to call the expectation gap. And the expectation gap is that messy middle space between our expectation and our experience. And what you've got to realize is that as you move down the road of entrepreneurship, your life is going to change. It's going to shift in many different ways. And you want to be prepared and as prepared as possible for all the shifts that are going to take place in your life. Shifts with your health because it's stressful. There'll be shifts with your finances, the ups and downs, the great months, the unsure months. There'll be the moments of mental dexterity where it's like, I'm quitting. And then 6 hours later, you get a call and you got a new contract or a new vendor with a better price. I'm winning. And then later that night, I hate my life. The next morning, I can do this. And so there are these constant ups and downs, highs and lows. And you've got to literally prepare yourself for all that comes with this path called entrepreneurship. And this is why the foremost thing that I want to suggest to those who are tuned in today for you to engage in is to engage a mentor. Mentors can transfer decades of institutional knowledge and not just industry specific knowledge. I'm talking about the institution of life. They can show you how to walk through some stuff, prepare you for some stuff that's going to come, cause you to think about some stuff that you never even thought that you would have to think about. And so it's important, it's imperative that you connect with a mentor. And as an entrepreneur, you're going to encounter thousands of scenarios that somebody else has already faced. They've wrestled with them and they've overcome them. So put the work into becoming a great mentee and glean all you can from a few mentors that can coach you and guide you along the way. So I get it. I can see some of y'all's faces through the screen. You're like, all right, Stephen, thank you for that encouraging word. But listen, what I'm really here for is for you to tell me all the good stuff. Tell me how to secure the bag. Tell me how to increase my profits. Tell me how to secure success. Well, let me state this. There is no formula for success. If anybody is selling that to you, if they titled a book like that or conference and you think you're about to get it, they about to hustle you, because there is no cookie cutter secret to success. Trust me, I've made a good amount of money. I've lost a good amount of money. I didn't try all of that stuff. But through it all, I survived to live another day. And that kind of has to be your mindset and mentality as an entrepreneur. I just got to survive to face another day and hope that tomorrow's going to be better than today when you have those bad days. I remember when I first started out in real estate, I did not get a mentor. I should have. I would have saved a whole lot of money and headache. And I remember it reached a point where I could no longer sustain all of those rental properties. I was just bleeding capital because tenants weren't paying. They were damaging property. And my dad, got wind of what was going on. And I was trying to make it through without leaning heavily upon him. And he was like, look, if you got to foreclose on a property, walk away from one of them, you young enough to make it and to overcome this. Don't let this beat you up and cause you to quit on your dream. Keep pressing forward. And he was right. I had to make some tough decisions. I learned from those decisions. I dropped the ball, but guess what? I picked it back up and I was able to move on and encourage other people along the way. And that's another piece. As you find a mentor to mentor you, find somebody else that you can mentor. We've got to continue to pay this thing forward, help and encourage other people that are seeking to come along. And it was one of the greatest things for me when I was then mentoring a young man in real estate investing, and he has far surpassed me. Millions of dollars in his real estate portfolio. Super proud of him. Now I'm asking him to help me. Can you show me and teach me your ways, because you've outpaced me? So that's what we have to do, especially since we're in this Christian context. That's the opportunity and the duty, I believe, as a believer, to encourage, help, and share what we know to help the community at large grow. So let me share a couple of important lessons that I've learned along the way that I believe will help you and your business in the area of success and growth. Number one, I want you to embrace disruption. Number one, embrace disruption. When we were coming up in grade school, Lady Pam, my teacher and my parents taught me decorum. I was instructed in my private school that I was always to raise my hand and ask permission before I did anything. But as an adult, as an entrepreneur, I've learned that all of that has got to be thrown out the window. I ain't got to raise my hand and I need not ask permission. In business, being a disruptor is a good thing. Don't believe me? Look at Airbnb, the largest real estate company that doesn't own any real estate. Look at Netflix and the content that they put out and how they changed the game. Uber, largest taxi company that doesn't own any cars. Facebook, the largest content producer that doesn't produce any content. These were all disruptors to industry. They ain't asked nobody's permission. They ain't raised their hand. They didn't wait their turn. They struck out, had faith, stepped out into nothing and created something. And look what happened. As a matter of fact, now, being a disruptor in your industry is a necessity if you're going to succeed. You cannot maintain a posture of sitting back and waiting your turn. You've got to take initiative and not be afraid to offend people and break the status quo or the industry model. Don't be afraid to take the risk that could literally change your life forever. So number one, embrace disruption. Whatever field you're in, whatever industry you're in, find a different angle, a different way for you to come at it that makes you stand out among the crowd. But number two, become a team player on a diverse team. Business is a team sport. As an individual, you are never going to be able to have the same impact that a team of diverse gifts and abilities can. Listen, almost everything you do in business requires collaboration, choreography, and unselfish participation for you to achieve success. And as you grow your business from a one-man show, a one-man team, because some of you are like, well, Stephen, I can't afford to hire a team. Actually, you can. You don't have to bring them on full time. If graphic design ain't your thing, there are websites, Fiverr, all kind of stuff where you can bring a subject matter expert in, pay them a little bit amount of money, and make it amazing. There are ways to outsource things. You don't have to have them full time on your team, paying them benefits and all of that, but you can outsource the stuff that you're not good at to make you and your company look the best as it can until you grow to the space and place where you can bring somebody on your team. But once you reach that point of growing to the place where you can hire team members and employees and have a staff, you want to make sure that you grow your team with diverse, competent people who are smarter than you and who can do what you can't do. And you got to be okay with that. That means you got to get your ego in check now. Get your self-esteem built up now so that there's not an intimidation factor and you don't end up sabotaging your success. People, God will send you people that'll bless you and grow your business, but you're too busy being mad and jealous and hating on them because they can do what you can't do. No. You got to be in a space and a place where I want people that are better than me, smarter than me, quicker than me, faster than me to help push what I have birthed to the next level. You need subject matter experts who don't always think like you do, who will provide diverse and disruptive ideas to keep you and your business on the cutting edge. So number two, you got to become a team player on a diverse team. Number three, super important, define what success looks like. I need you to define what success looks like. Successful entrepreneurs often have long-term vision for their company, for their business. So here's the question. Have you taken the time to determine where you want this thing to go, as well as what might be holding you back from getting there? It's critical that you clearly define what success looks like so you'll know when you reach it. This will cause some of us to go back to our business plan, look at our mission statement and revise it. It's too general. It's too broad. When we look at who our target market is, stop talking about everybody's my customer. No, that's not going to work. That's not how it happens. Everybody ain't your customer. Just because your family like your pound cake don't mean everybody else will. They just don't want to tell you this nasty. All right. So you got to be clear on who your target customer is. You got to know what success looks like. And the concreteness of your objective makes it real. And that makes it inspiring for you as well as your team members, your employees, once you get to that place of having a team. Why? Because discipline without direction leads to drudgery. You can hashtag that. You can tweet that. I'll give it to you again. Discipline without direction leads to drudgery. Now, to get here, to get to the place of concreteness with what success looks like and where your vision is going for your company, that requires for you to ask some tough questions, make some real trade-offs, and exercise serious discipline to cut out all of the competing priorities that can distract you from your true intention. If you're an individual that's like super gifted, there's so many things, so many directions you can succeed and win in, there's so many opportunities for your business to engage in. Some of that is the reason why many businesses fail. You're doing too much. What is it that you really succeed in? What is it that you can put your all in and go big on and then create what success looks like based off that one thing that you do that nobody else can do better than you? Define what success looks like. Almost done. Number 4, you gotta have fun. You gotta have fun in this thing called entrepreneurship, because when you enjoy what you do, you'll always excel, and the likelihood of achieving your goals increases. And you'll notice that the passion that you have for your products, for your business, for your service, it's going to transfer over to your customers, your clients, and your employees. You can't expect other people to be excited about what you're offering if you ain't excited about it. Y'all can see, hopefully, my energy. I'm excited about talking about entrepreneurship, and hopefully that's transferring through the screen into your heart, soul, and spirit, and that's pumping you up, getting you excited to go back and hit the road running with your business idea and concept. People become inspired by our energy and our passion for what we do. And they're also given a sense of assurance when they engage us along this entrepreneurial journey. Listen, I was driving the other day, and I noticed as I looked up at the red light that I was sitting in front of my old grade school. And as I looked out there, because school just started, I guess it must have been recess time. And so kids were outside playing. And Lady Pam, it dawned on me that I was never taught to play as a child. Let me say it again. I was never taught how to play as a child. It was something that was just innate. It was something that came naturally. So I had to ask myself a question as I sat at that red light and looked over at the school that I used to go to a long time ago. What happened? Why did I stop playing as I got older? That really struck a nerve with me, and I hope it's striking a nerve with y'all on the other side of this screen. And so based upon that question that I posed to myself, I answered myself, and I said, this year, I'm going to start playing again. And one of my goals this year is to purchase myself a Miss Pac-Man arcade game to put in my house. I'm putting it in the atmosphere in case anybody want to be a blessing, in case the Lord is leading you right now to sow into my life. I want a Miss Pac-Man, the tall one, not the little one at the bottom. I want the tall arcade game, Miss Pac-Man machine for my house, so that I'm reintroduced to a level of play back into my life. My aunt had one of those machines in her house. I would go over there all the time. And that was one of the ways that I played, and I exercised my mind. I got creative after playing the game. And so I want to get another one back in my house, in my life, to reintroduce play back into my life. And listen, somebody listening today, you likewise need to also incorporate some level of play into your life as an entrepreneur. I'm not just saying this to be saying it. There's research behind it. Some of my degree is in sociology and psychology. So research shows that, among other things, play increases our ability to innovate. It leads to brain plasticity, adaptability, and creativity. I'm trying to help you to understand that play fuels exploration in at least one of 3 ways. Number 1, it broadens our range of options as we see possibilities that we otherwise wouldn't, and we make connections that we otherwise would not have. Number 2, play is an antidote to stress. As an entrepreneur, stress is all around you. And so play becomes an antidote. And stress, it's the enemy of productivity, because stress actually shuts down the creative, inquisitive, exploratory parts of our brain. That's why we got to play. And then third and finally, play has a positive effect on the executive function of the brain, involved in both careful, logical reasoning and carefree, unbound exploration. I'm trying to tell you, you got to start playing again so that you can become creative in your business entrepreneurial pursuits. One final note, and I'm shutting it down, and y'all can then raise any questions that you have. Hope this is helping you. I want you to keep in mind that as you move along your entrepreneurial journey, people are attracted to the person or the people behind the brand. Let me say it again, real slow for the slow bus people. People, customers, clients, they are attracted to the person or the people that are behind the brand. Who the people are, who the person is, and what they believe. And so I'm trying to say this to help you to understand that the quality of your interaction between you, your customer, your customer and your team members is essential for the success of your company. Don't hire your cousin with a bad attitude to be the front person, to work behind the register, behind the counter. You want people that want to act like they're excited to be there at your business, not that it's a chore, because that transfers over to customers, and that means customers will want to spend less money with you. When customers feel that they're a priority, they're more inclined and more likely to invest in what you have to offer. Your end goal ought to be to enrich the customer's life, to make their life more easy, more comfortable in some way. And in return, guess what's going to happen? That customer, that client is going to enrich your pocket. I hope that one of these nuggets, two of these nuggets that I've shared, have encouraged you and have helped you along your entrepreneurial journey. Questions, comments, concerns?
No, listen, all of those, I mean, have spoke to me. When you were talking about shifts, and we've had mentors, in starting a ministry 7 years ago, but no one told us about those shifts, those things that happen, because you're thinking, oh, God gave us this idea, people are joining, things are going well.
Yeah.
No one ever said that there was going to be, people who were going to backstab us. No one
Yes.
ever said there was going to be all of these things, Pastor Mason getting sick, then having to shift, that we were going to have to shift it. I mean, it was a lot, but like you said, it's going to be ups and downs. It's 1 minute, you want to quit, next minute, I'm on fire for the Lord. And then next minute you're like, forget this, but no, but thank you for that. But you're right. And just having mentors to even help you with all of that, to navigate. We had a situation one time that came up, and just how important a mentor is. And we reached out to them and say, hey, what do we do about this? And they just said, this is what you do. Don't worry about that. But then it gave us that fire. It
Yeah.
gave us that capability to be able to bounce back. You know what? We can do this. We can keep going and keep pushing. And so, no, those are great points. I had a question when you're talking about team players, because I get this a lot, and I've heard this even from other people who have a business, and you want people on your team. Let's just say, I got this pound cake and I want some other people, to help. So how do I navigate hiring the right people? And then how do you have this sit down conversation with them and say, you know what, I need you to work on these things because it's bad for business.
Sure.
How do you incorporate, just how do you work with team, just players in general in your business?
Great question, Pam. Thank you for raising that. Number one, I think that we need to slow down our process of hiring. We're so quick to bring somebody on the team. People come into that interview and they just sell us a dream. And then once we sign on the dotted line, we discover after the honeymoon phase has ended, just like in a dating relationship, stuff ain't quite like what we thought it was going to be. I think there needs to be a more deliberate process in who we hire. Does the person off top, do they have the competence for this? And are they called to it? That's just not relevant for ministry. I think being called to stuff extends even into the marketplace. What were you created to do? Is this just a job for you, or is this a career passion for you? And so we need to ask some more penetrating questions when we engage people. So are they called to it? Do they have the capacity for it? Do they have the skill sets? Are they subject matter experts? And if they're not all the way there yet, again, is this an area of passion where they're going to do the work to pursue additional education, to get more, get what they need to really help fuel this thing. So I think those are crucial pieces that need to be put in place on the front end. When it comes down to having those critical conversations, you got to man up, woman up, and help the other person understand that everything here is riding on me. You represent me. And if you cannot represent me, you cannot be here. And so these are the things that we've noticed. These are the things that need to be addressed. How can I help you? I want to help you. I want you to win. I brought you onto the team for a specific reason. I saw something in you and I still believe in you, but we want to help you to upgrade in a couple of areas. And these are they. This is the benchmark that I'm setting. This is the timeline I'm setting. You'll be under observation and monitoring. And It's our hope, it's our desire that you will meet the expectations. If you don't, then we need to readjust your role here because you may be the right person, but in the wrong position, or you could be the wrong person in, and none of these positions here are really for you. And this is just a sign that it's time for you to shift out and do something better, do something greater. And so you're supporting them. It's not like you bashing them and beating them. You're showing love and support, care, concern, and trying to help them to grow, but also helping them to realize that you may not be in the right place in your life. I mean, I look back at so many people, the story of Puffy immediately comes to mind. Andre Harrell fired him, and Puffy will tell you to this day that was one of the best decisions that could have ever happened. He, in the moment, he didn't feel like it, but Puffy would have never been Puffy, created Bad Boy and done all that he's done if Andre Harrell had never fired him. And so sometimes it takes those moments of saying, I really don't fit here, and somebody being honest with you to push you into your destiny.
No, that's good. And a lot of times, I like what Chips, like what you said about sometimes you have to even put people in different roles, because I know this in churches and churches we worked at, that person is a good person, but they're not good for that particular role.
Yes,
And so you got to understand, okay, maybe this person maybe cannot, do the inventory. Why don't we have you at least organizing the pantry? Just not getting rid of them, but just
yes,
shifting them. You know what? Let's have a sit down meeting. Let's talk about this. But you're right. And just putting people in those roles that they need to be, that they're gifted in, that they're called to do. No,
correct.
no, this is great. No, this is good. And let me ask you this. So how can, for someone who's starting from scratch and they're like, I just need to know how to get started. I know you talked about that before, creating a business plan. What are some things they need to do to get, just get a jump? Of course, defining what my goals are, but are there some other things people need to do as well?
Yeah, they need to be clear on the industry, on the market, what the market is demanding, what people are looking for. So again, that goes back to identifying who your target audience is and not thinking that everybody is your customer or your client. So being very specific in that particular space, so that you can fine tune and hone what you're doing. I think back to my clothing store. I knew what my customer looked like. I knew how much my target customer, what they look like, what they made, what they currently shopped, what they were willing to pay for things. That helped to frame things. So from time to time, I would get people that were outside of my target market that would come into the store. They would ask for stuff. Now, can you get this? No, because that's not what I do. That's not what my customer base. When I go out to Vegas or when I go to the show in Chicago or New York, the retail show, and you've got thousands of vendors in there, I can't buy from everybody. I've got to go in. I will go into that vendor booth thinking about particular customers in mind. He will look good in this. Mason will look good in this. Let me buy this because I'm shopping in advance for my customer. So that mindset has to be in place. Of course, getting your paperwork in order, making sure that you've got everything filed with the IRS. You've got your DUNS number. You've got your bank account. You've separated your personal money from your business money. Those are two separate accounts that you're not mixing and mingling in. And I get it. Starting out, you have to take money from your personal account and put in your business account. But as stuff starts going, what's in business is for business. What's in personal is for personal. Just having those things clear, starting the process of building your business credit the right way from the beginning. Getting with people that can show you the proper steps, not just going out and getting a bunch of credit cards in your company name. There's certain types of cards that you need to get before you get other types of cards. There's a whole process to that. So connecting with subject matter experts that can coach you and walk you along the path so that you don't make the mistakes that other people have made. Those critical little minute details, they make all the difference at the end of the day.
That's good, Steve. I like what you said about, especially not letting people push you into certain things, into an area that you have decided you're not going to go in. So, you're selling, you're purchasing certain clothing, and you're like, no, that's not what I do. You may want to go look somewhere else, go to the mall and go to another store where they
Yes.
carry that. That's not what I carry, because you're right. People will push you into certain areas and you'll be all off from what God told you to do or what your original plan was. And so you're right. And And I like what you said also about just manning up and woman up. This is your vision. Not to say that you can't get buy-in from other
Sure.
people. You can, like you say, get those mentors, whatever. But if it's too far off base, then yeah. So I like that point. How can we, when you're talking about monies, and I've heard this before, a lot of times you have to use your job to fund your side hustle. How do
Yeah.
you recommend people even trying to get started? Should they continue to work their job and maybe set aside monies on a monthly basis? What are your thoughts on that too?
Yeah. Man, you asking some amazing questions. Yes. Allow your job to finance your business until your business can finance your life. I'll say
Yeah,
it again. Allow your job to finance your business, your side business, until your side business can finance your life. You
yeah,
need to make sure that you're in a space of some level of security. Of course, nothing is secure. These jobs ain't loyal. They'll get rid of you. Your business this may not be the one that takes off and puts you into the 6-figure, the 7-figure income range. So, you got to scale it out. That's on an individual basis. But yeah, start taking money and putting it aside into that business and start incrementally growing it and recognize it's not going to pop overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time. And so go into it with that mindset. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is a marathon that I'm seeking to run. And that'll help you. Having that mindset about the money, that's like critical and crucial.
yeah. Oh, it's
And
good.
I'll add this, since we're talking about money and we're talking to mostly Black people here, don't let your family and your friends force you to think that you got to give everybody a discount.
That's right.
Know your price, know your worth, and stick to it and add tax. You get a discount because you have spent X amount of dollars with me and you've shown consistency and faithfulness to me, not just because we share the same last name.
Amen.
We have to do a better job of supporting one another, because we don't go in white people's business talking about where my discount, where the hookup. No, and we need to stop doing that to ourselves.
You're right. It's almost like we feel like we're entitled,
Yes.
well, we grew up together. Can this is my business. This is how I eat. This is how I survive. And you're right. We don't do other people the same way, but yet we expect other people to do the same thing. So no, this is great. This is so good. And so let me ask you this. And so a lot of times, and you were mentioning how how can you have those conversations with people and say, hey, this is the direction that we need to go in dealing with employees, in dealing with, and you don't want to hurt feelings, but how do we also transition into that as well?
Yeah. So we're going back to the front end. We've got
Yeah,
clarity in what your role is. We've got clarity in what the goals are. We've got clarity in what the mission of the organization, the company is. And so when I find that you're veering off track, that makes it real easy to have a conversation, because I pull back out this documentation that we all agreed to. And
yeah,
here's where you're off track. What do I need to do to help you get back on track? Because this is what we all agreed was going to happen, and this ain't happening. And so I don't, rarely have I had to fire anybody. People have fired themselves because I was intentional on the front end of setting everything clear. The goals are clear, the rules are clear. And if you can't follow them, then you've just told me that this isn't the place for you. So you fired yourself. I'll help you carry your stuff out, but no hard feelings. You're telling me by not agreeing to what you said you'd agree to initially that you don't want to be here anymore.
yeah, man. I like what you said about playing too. We need to, and I'm so glad you said that, because this is a stressful area. This is a stressful business, and things, like you say, you're up one day, you're down the next. Sometimes I feel bipolar because I'm just like,
Yes. Yes.
what's going on today, And so I like what you said. We try in our house to have game night on Friday night, but you're right. It's just relaxing, just going outside. It's playing. And I did not know that, of course, playing does all that for the brain. But yeah, we need to, and that's something that, I've never heard anybody say from an entrepreneur standpoint is this is what you got to do, A, B, and C, LLC, C Corp, articles, bylaws, and all that stuff. No one ever said, you need to relax and have some fun. You need to relax, because you're not as enthusiastic about your business as you could be because you're like it's drudgery. It's
Yes.
here we go again. So that was I really got a lot from that. So thank you for that. And thank you for being our mentor, because you are our mentor. When we have a question about something, we're like, Steve, we need some help on this and what have you. So thank you for your availability with us. So we so appreciate that.
For
And so
sure.
I don't see any comments in the comment section as of yet. So we do have some announcements we need to go through, but do you have anything else that you like? How can we contact you? I know you do a lot of Facebook Lives. You have the mirror moment, you have the website. Can you tell us how we can contact you?
Yes. So I want to make something available for everybody today. I literally just finished writing an ebook on entrepreneurship, and I've got some other collateral pieces that can go with that, tips and tools and resources and all of that. And I want to make that available for free to everybody that's tuned in. So all you got to do is shoot me an email, and I'll email everything over to you. My email address is my name, Stephen at StephenJThurston.com. Stephen at StephenJThurston.com. And in the subject line, all you've got to put is entrepreneurship free stuff. Entrepreneurship free stuff. And I'll know exactly what you're talking about. And I'll email that content over to you. And what I do, I have a subscription site were my two lanes are relationship and leadership. And so entrepreneurship was the focus this month in the area of leadership. And so every month I put out content, ebooks and assessments, assignments, and resources in both of those lanes. And so if that's of interest to you, you can go to my website, StephenJThurston.com, and you can register for the Mirror Moment movement. And you can sign up to get content on the leadership track or the relationship track or both of them. And so that's available, again, fresh content on a monthly basis that you'll get from me. So StephenJThurston.com is the website. The email is Stephen at StephenJThurston.com. And entrepreneurship free stuff in the subject line. And I'll send you over all of that fresh new content.
Awesome. I am putting this in the comment section right now. Great. This is awesome. And so we're also going to make sure all of our members know that everybody's been tagged. So I'm sure you're going to get so many people who are going to actually take advantage of this because, we like free stuff. So
Yes.
So no, thank you for that. So we're going to go through just a few announcements, and then I'm going to let you just kind of tie it up at the end. If anything else you want to share, if you want to tell people about your Instagram, anything, any books that you have. So we're going to go through that right now. So just hang tight for me.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So thank you everyone for joining us here on today. Of course, this is our theme for this year, Reconstruction 2021. So we are always believing that God is going to reconstruct everything in your life during this entire year and our lives as well. Of course, you can watch us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. So feel free to join us at each and every one of our events on these particular social media outlets. And of course, we have a church app. So all you have to do is go to your app store, download My Sunday, and then locate Birmingham Bible Church. My Sunday is one word, and then you can get all the announcements and notifications as well. You can also receive text messages. Text BBCWW to 94253. Please text BBCWW to 94253, and you can receive inspirational text messages as well, and events of what's going on. We have a church business directory. Simply go to our website at bhambc.org. Scroll to the bottom, click on business directory, and then you can key in your information. This is free free. You don't have to do anything but just sign up. And so you not only go into our database, but you also go to a 50,000 plus Christian database. So anybody can look you up if they want to have your services. So make sure you do that. And then every Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m., you are invited for a study in the scriptures with Pastor Mason. We are walking through the book of Philippians. You don't want to miss that. Please make sure you are marking your calendars and setting your alarm for that. But it's every Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. And then, of course, on today, you heard from Stephen Thurston, business owner, how to start our own business, how to even navigate the business realm. Great information. Please share that with other people. Next week, we have Mr. Troy Pryor. You don't want to miss him as well. He is a media producer, entrepreneur. He's going to talk about giving power to your idea. You don't want nobody to take your idea. So some great things that we have planned. Make sure you go back and watch. So even though you miss it, on today, you can go back and watch previous ones as well. And then on Saturday, we are hanging out on every Saturday at 10 a.m. We are learning how to tame our tongue. So if you have not been a part of that, please let us know. Email us at ladypam@tcowi.org, and then you can be a part of that great small group that we have going on. And then every Sunday, please join us as Pastor Mason continues the series, Summer in the Psalms. We are having a great time as he is taking a different division of the book of Psalms and really dealing with that. So continue to join us as well. We have a new prayer room number. Of course, it is 727-731-0433 every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 a.m. Listen, we have also entered for a time of fasting and prayer. And so please join us on that. We have redone our prayer call, so you don't want to miss it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This morning was just awesome, just a powerful move of God. And so please join us on those days, of course, and at that time. And then we're going to have a little fun. Steve talked about this. Y'all, we need to do something stress-free. We need to relax. So we are having a virtual paint party on September the 24th at 7 o'clock p.m. with Miss Liz Brent. We are going to do some just wonderful times. We're going to have some drinks that's on your own, but we're just going to have a great time. It's for singles, it's for couples. Please go to her website. It is lizbrentart.com/BBC. The cost is $25 per screen. And please, people, make sure there's no more than 2 people per screen. Amen. And thank you, Jesus. All right. And so also on October the 16th, we have our virtual Women's Empowerment Conference. Great speakers. All of these ladies, you've heard from them at some point in time, but they're going to teach us how we can, of course, they're going to inform us how we are built by God, but we were built for certain things. You were built to handle everything that you have on your plate right now. So just a great shot in the arm. October the 16th, 10 a.m. Of course, that's in the month of October. Also, if you want a shirt, please order your Built by God shirt with Nikila Huggins. Her number is 205-915-7989. And so, of course, make sure you place that order with her. And then thank you for your continued support for our 11 sponsored children of Haiti from Compassion International. Thank you so much for that. Your gifts are not in vain. Of course, they have experienced a lot of destruction there in Haiti because of earthquakes and the tropical storm that came through. But God has protected each and every one of them. The only one who was affected, I believe, was Miss Laura, but only one child was affected. And so, of course, we are increasing our gifts so that we can make sure that they are going to just a great use for them so that they can make sure they're getting all the food and medical supplies and just the counseling and emotional growth and everything that they need. And so, of course, thank you for giving to our land, our future. We are sacrificially given above and beyond tithes and offers to go towards land and buildings and everything that God has for us so we can continue to do ministry. And we want to do it, of course, debt free. And just thank you, everyone, how you continue to reach somebody, how you continue to share this information, share the broadcast, and just invite people. We thank you so much for that because it takes each and every one of y'all to help make sure that the ministry is going to all the parts of this world. So that's all we have. Thank you so much. And just have an awesome week, y'all. Have an awesome week. Thank you, Stephen, for this so much. We are just so appreciative of this. You have just warmed our hearts. You've done just a magnificent job and just given us other things to think about when we're in this entrepreneurship space. It's not easy. It is not. And a lot of people, they don't tell you. I mean, all you see is, oh man, somebody has a nice business and you don't know all of the tears and sweat and
Yes,
blood, everything that has gone into it. So thank you so much for that. Do you have anything else you want to add before we dismiss?
I will. Just because you have spent a lot of money and time making a mistake doesn't mean that you have to continue. Don't be afraid to walk away from stuff, to cut your losses, to start fresh, to say, hey, I tried it. This really ain't for me. Let me try something else. That's happened to me. Nothing wrong with it. We learn, we live, we tried, and we move on. So don't get stuck in, see, this entrepreneurship thing ain't for me. My mama told me I should get a 9 to 5. No, if you're being called to this place, you just gotta kind of figure it out and try some other stuff. Just keep pressing. But don't just keep digging in and digging that hole deeper once you see it's not gonna turn around. No, it's not. I trade as well, and I've made that mistake and I've lost stupid money chasing bad trades. I just keep throwing money. It's gonna turn around. It's gonna turn around, and it don't turn around in my favor. So don't be afraid to cut your losses and walk away.
Thank you so much for that. I forgot, I was thinking about that question. How do you handle those kind of disappointments where you're like, okay, this is not working. Do I need to fold it? Do I need to keep going? But yeah, no, thank you for that. Thank you for adding that.
Yes,
It's good.
glad to.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Have a great day, everyone on social media. Please be blessed. Please be safe. Please stay sane and please stay sanitized. We love y'all. Love you, Steve.
Love you.